Life has a way of testing you. The moment you set a goal, obstacles appear. You feel stuck, like no matter how hard you try, you're not making progress. It's frustrating, isn't it? You see others succeed while you battle self-doubt, fear, and procrastination. But here's the truth. The people who win in life aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who push through, who refuse to let fear, setbacks, or limitations define them. The Stoics believe that adversity is not your enemy, it's your training ground. Every struggle strengthens you. Every failure teaches you. Every challenge forces you to rise higher than before. But how do you develop the mindset, discipline, and resilience to break through? How do you master self-discipline, manage your time like a high performer, and turn pressure into power? That's exactly what we're diving into today. In this video, you'll learn how to push yourself past fear, build unshakable confidence, and create habits that guarantee success. You'll discover why mental resilience beats raw talent, how to stop procrastinating, and what it truly takes to win every single day. Now, let me ask you, what's one challenge you've been struggling with lately? Drop a comment below, share your story, because this isn't just a video, it's a conversation. And by the end, you'll have the mindset and tools to take control and push forward. Let's begin. 1. The power of self-belief and motivation. There comes a moment in life when you realize that no one is coming to save you. No one will hand you success, confidence, or discipline. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't push yourself, then who will? The world won't wait for you to feel ready. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack persistence. Self-belief isn't about arrogance or blind optimism. It's about recognizing that growth is possible, even when doubt tries to convince you otherwise. Every successful person you admire, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, was once a beginner. They questioned themselves, faced failure, and wanted to quit. But they didn't. They kept going. And in that persistence, they found their power. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors and Stoic philosophers, wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The mind is where the battle is won or lost. The moment you start believing you are capable, you shift the trajectory of your life. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop needing permission. You take action. Because you know that your potential isn't determined by where you start, Holland, but by how much you are willing to push forward. But belief alone isn't enough. You have to prove it to yourself through action. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Daniel. He had always dreamed of becoming a public speaker, but every time he stepped onto a stage, fear consumed him. His hands shook, his voice cracked, and his mind went blank. After one particularly humiliating speech, he convinced himself that he wasn't meant for this, that he simply didn't have the talent. But then he read about the Stoic principle of voluntary discomfort, the idea that growth happens when you deliberately expose yourself to hardship. The only way to overcome fear is to confront it again and again. So Daniel made a decision. Every single day, he would do something that made him uncomfortable. He started small, introducing himself to strangers, speaking up in meetings, recording himself practicing speeches. He forced himself to step into the discomfort rather than away from it. At first, nothing changed. He still stumbled over his words, still felt the weight of doubt pressing down on him. But he kept going, and slowly, something shifted. The fear that once paralyzed him became familiar. His body no longer reacted with panic. He learned that confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build, moment by moment, brought through repeated exposure to challenge. Months later, he stood on stage again. His heart pounded, but this time he knew it wouldn't break him. He delivered his speech, not flawlessly, but with conviction. Because belief is earned through action, not just words. This is what Stoicism teaches us, that our fears, our doubts, our discomfort, they are not barriers, they are stepping stones. And the only way forward is through. The mind will tell you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough. But you don't have to believe everything you think. You train your mind like you train your body, by pushing past resistance, by proving to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. So what's stopping you? That dream you keep postponing, that challenge you keep avoiding. What would happen if you stopped waiting? If you simply started before you felt ready? Because here's the truth. You will never feel ready. And that's why you must begin now. When you understand that self-belief is built through action, not just thought, you stop looking for external validation. You stop waiting for permission. And that's when you start winning. And when you win this battle within yourself, you become unstoppable. Now let's talk about the one thing that holds most people back: fear. And more importantly, how to conquer it. 2. Overcoming fear and taking action. Fear has a way of creeping in just when you're about to make a move. It whispers doubts, paints worst-case scenarios, and convinces you that staying still is safer than taking a step forward. It's easy to let fear dictate your choices, to avoid risks, to settle, to wait for the perfect moment that never comes. But here's the truth. The people who succeed aren't fearless. They just refuse to let fear make decisions for them. Fear isn't a wall, it's a test. It's the threshold between who you are now and who you have the potential to become. And if you avoid it, you stay the same. Growth demands that you step into discomfort, that you push against the resistance of your own hesitation. Every time you take action despite fear, you redefine what you are capable of. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus once said, "How long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself?" They believed that fear is just another emotion, temporary, fleeting, and ultimately under your control. What matters is not the fear itself, but your response to it. Will you let it shrink your world? Or will you face it head-on and expand your limits? You have more power over your mind than you think. Imagine standing at the edge of a decision, one that could change your life. You feel hesitation. But what if, instead of retreating, you took one step forward? What if you acted before fear had the chance to talk you out of it? Let me tell you a story. You're standing in front of a room full of people. Your palms are sweating. Your heart is racing. You've been asked to present an idea, but your mind is telling you that you're not ready. You feel exposed and vulnerable. Like every mistake will be magnified. You think about backing out, making an excuse, postponing it for another day. But deep down, you know another day will turn into another week, then another year. So you make a choice. You take a deep breath, you step forward, and you speak. Your voice wavers at first, but then something happens. The fear that felt overwhelming a moment ago begins to shrink. You realize that you are in control, not your emotions, not your doubts, but you. Fear is predictable. It shows up whenever you challenge yourself, whenever you stretch beyond what's comfortable. But the more you confront it, the weaker it becomes. Like a muscle, courage is built through repetition. Each time you act despite fear, you train yourself to trust in your own strength. The Stoics had a practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would visualize the worst-case scenario, fully embrace the discomfort of it, and then move forward anyway. Why? Because fear loses its power when you've already faced it in your mind. When you stop avoiding it, you realize that most of what you fear is just an illusion, one that crumbles the moment you push past it. So what's stopping you right now? The opportunity you've been waiting for, the risk you've been afraid to take. What if, instead of analyzing it to death, you just moved? What if you stopped hesitating and did the thing that scares you? You don't need permission. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Because the truth is, readiness is a myth. No one ever feels fully prepared before taking a leap. And yet, the ones who leap are the ones who grow. When you push yourself to act despite fear, you build an unshakable foundation of self-trust. You realize that you are capable, that you are stronger than your doubts, and that every challenge is just another step toward mastery. And the moment you embrace this, fear loses its grip on you. It doesn't disappear, but it no longer controls you. Because now, you are the one in control. And once you learn to act despite fear, the next step is to develop the kind of mindset that turns every failure into progress. Let's talk about how to do that. 3. Developing a growth mindset. You weren't born with limits. The mind creates them. It tells you that you can only go so far, that you are either talented or you're not, and that success belongs to those who were born with it. But the truth is, growth is a choice. The difference between those who thrive and those who stay stagnant isn't natural ability, it's mindset. A fixed mindset keeps you trapped. It makes you believe that failure is proof of incompetence, rather than part of the learning process. It convinces you to avoid challenges, to stay in the comfort of what you already know, and to retreat the moment things get difficult. And what happens? You stop growing. You stay the same. But those who develop a growth mindset see things differently. They understand that failure is feedback, that struggle is necessary, and that effort is what separates mastery from mediocrity. They don't wait to be naturally good at something. They become good through relentless practice, refining their skills, through showing up every single day, even when progress feels slow. This is why the Stoics embraced hardship. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." They saw challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to sharpen themselves, to develop mental resilience, to become stronger through the very things that most people try to avoid. You've seen this before. Some athlete trains in the rain, while others stay inside. The entrepreneur who keeps building despite failures. The artist who spends years refining their craft unnoticed before they're recognized. They didn't succeed because they were chosen. They succeeded because they chose to keep going. Imagine this. You've been working on a new skill. Maybe it's learning an instrument, a language, or a business venture. At first, it's exciting. Progress is fast. But then you hit a plateau. No matter how much effort you put in, it feels like nothing is changing. You start to doubt yourself. Maybe this just isn't for you. Maybe you don't have the natural ability. You think about quitting. But instead of giving up, you shift your mindset. You stop expecting instant results. You stop thinking in terms of talent and start thinking in terms of effort. You embrace the process, understanding that mastery isn't about sudden breakthroughs. It's about compounding small improvements over time. And then something shifts. You start seeing progress again. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily. You realize that the struggle wasn't a sign to stop. It was a test. And because you pushed through, you're now ahead of those who quit when things got hard. The Stoics believe that your mind is like a muscle. It grows when challenged. If you never push beyond what's comfortable, you never expand your limits. That's why discomfort should be welcomed, not avoided. The frustration you feel when learning something difficult, that's proof that you're growing. The setbacks that make you question yourself, they're refining you, making you stronger, teaching you how to adapt. Most people give up the moment things stop being easy. That's why most people stay the same. But if you choose to develop a growth mindset, if you commit to continuous improvement rather than chasing perfection, you will outlast, outperform, and outgrow those who only rely on talent. So ask yourself, are you letting difficulty define your limits? Or are you willing to push through, to lean into the struggle, to trust that growth is happening even when you can't see it? Because once you stop resisting the process and start embracing it, you unlock something powerful. The ability to grow into whoever you choose to become. And when you do, you gain something even more important than skill or success. You gain the mental resilience to face anything life throws at you. And that, more than anything, is what makes you unstoppable. Now that you understand how mindset shapes success, let's talk about another essential ingredient: emotional intelligence, the ability to control your emotions and respond with clarity, not impulse. 4. Harnessing emotional intelligence. Emotions are powerful. They can drive you forward or hold you back. They can sharpen your focus or cloud your judgment, and too often, they control us more than we control them. Think about it. How many times have you reacted in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? How often have you let anger, fear, or frustration dictate your choices? When emotions take over, they blind us. They make us say things we don't mean, make decisions we later question, and keep us stuck in cycles of stress and overreaction. But those who master emotional intelligence, those who learn to manage their emotions instead of being controlled by them, gain an advantage in life. They don't let external events dictate their inner world. They stay grounded, focused, and in control, no matter what happens around them. The Stoics believed this was the key to strength. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." Because the moment someone else has the power to trigger your emotions, they have control over you. And when you lose control, you lose clarity. You react instead of respond. You let temporary feelings dictate permanent outcomes. But what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could pause? What if, before anger took over, before fear dictated your choices, you could step back, see the bigger picture, and decide how to respond? Picture this. You've been working hard on a project, something important, something you've poured time and energy into. And then, out of nowhere, someone criticizes it. Maybe it's your boss, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a stranger online. The moment you hear the words, your chest tightens, your mind races with defense. You want to fire back, to prove them wrong, to protect your pride. But then, instead of reacting, you pause. You remember that emotions are signals, not commands. Instead of fighting back, you take a breath. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is there truth in their words? Am I responding to the situation or just to my emotions? And in that moment, something shifts. The criticism that would have ruined your mood, distracted your mind, and made you act impulsively loses its power. Instead of feeling attacked, you see an opportunity to learn. Instead of defending, you listen. Instead of reacting, you remain in control. This is what emotional intelligence gives you. Freedom from being controlled by external events. It allows you to move through life with clarity, to focus on what matters, to waste less energy on things that don't deserve it. The Stoics had a practice called negative visualization, imagining difficulties before they happen so that when they do, you are prepared. They would picture being insulted, losing something valuable, facing hardship, and by doing this, they trained themselves not to be caught off guard, so that when difficulty came, they met it with calm, not chaos. You can do the same. The next time something angers you, before you respond, pause. The next time fear tries to make a decision for you, question it. The next time someone provokes you, remember that your power lies in your response, not in their words. Because the person who can control their emotions controls their future. And when you master this, you gain something most people never have: the ability to stay strong, steady, and unshaken, no matter what life throws at you. And once you develop this inner strength, you can take it one step further by building the discipline that keeps you pushing forward even when motivation fades. Let's talk about how. 5. The role of discipline and mental resilience. Motivation is fleeting. One day you wake up ready to take on the world. The next, you don't even want to get out of bed. If you rely on motivation alone, you will fail. Because success isn't built on bursts of excitement. It's built on discipline. On doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the foundation of resilience. It's what keeps you moving forward when everything in you wants to stop. It's the voice that says, keep going, even when progress is invisible, even when the results don't come fast enough. Because real growth isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Most people quit too soon. They give up when things get hard, when results take longer than expected. But those who win, they stay the course. They push through discomfort, boredom, and frustration. They show up day after day, whether they feel like it or not, and that's what makes them unstoppable. The Stoics lived by this principle. Marcus Aurelius, Rome's most powerful emperor, wrote in Meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." He understood that waiting for motivation was pointless. The action had to come first. Discipline isn't about feeling ready, it's about doing what must be done, regardless of feeling. I once knew someone who embodied this. He wasn't the smartest person in the room. He didn't have the most talent, but he had one thing most people didn't: relentless discipline. He woke up early, trained when others rested, and studied when others scrolled mindlessly. At first, no one noticed. No one cared. His progress was slow, almost invisible. But he kept going. Then something changed. The people who once dismissed him started to wonder how he had gotten so far. The ones who relied on talent saw themselves falling behind, because talent alone is unreliable. But discipline? That's a force that never fails. One day, I asked him how he stayed so consistent. He told me something simple: I don't negotiate with myself. I don't ask if I feel like it. I just do it. And that's the mindset of those who succeed. They don't look for excuses. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They commit and they follow through, no matter how they feel. This is what mental resilience looks like. It's not about being the strongest or the smartest. It's about refusing to quit. It's about showing up when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when nothing seems to be happening. Because growth happens in the unseen hours. The Stoics knew this. They practiced voluntary hardship, pushing themselves into discomfort, training their minds to endure difficulty so that when real challenges came, they were ready. They didn't just hope for strength. They built it, and you can too. The next time you feel like skipping that workout, putting off that task, or quitting on something important, ask yourself, if I only did things when I felt like it, where would I be? And then, take action anyway. Because discipline doesn't just build success, it builds character. And when you master this, you no longer depend on motivation. You create progress on your own terms. Once you understand that discipline is your greatest weapon, you need one more thing: the ability to break free from procrastination and build habits that guarantee success. Let's talk about how. 6. Breaking procrastination and building effective habits. You know what needs to be done, but you don't do it. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And before you know it, you're stuck in the same place with the same unfinished goals, wondering where all that time went. Most people think procrastination is just laziness. It's not. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear that the effort won't be worth it. So instead of taking action, you delay, you distract yourself. You fill your time with minor, unimportant tasks just to avoid the real work. But here's the truth. What you avoid controls you. The longer you wait, the stronger the resistance becomes. And the irony is, the hardest part is starting. Once you begin, the task isn't as overwhelming as your mind made it seem. The Stoics had a simple response to this: just start. Seneca wrote, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away." They understood that waiting for the perfect moment was an illusion. Action creates momentum. And once you start, resistance loses its grip. I knew someone who struggled with this. For years, he wanted to write a book. He had ideas, he had stories, he had a vision. But every time he sat down to write, he told himself, I need to do more research, or I'll start when I have more time. Months passed, then years. The book remained an idea. One day, he realized something. If he waited until he felt ready, he would never begin. So he made a decision. Write for 10 minutes a day, no matter what. Even if it was bad, even if he had nothing to say. He just wrote. At first, it felt pointless. He would stare at a blank screen, feeling like he was wasting time. But something happened. 10 minutes turned into 20. One paragraph turned into a page. And after months of showing up daily, the book he once thought was impossible was now real. This is the power of action. Discipline beats inspiration. The work doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. And over time, consistency turns effort into progress. The Stoics understood that habits shape your destiny. What you do daily determines where you end up. If you want to master something, you don't wait until you feel like it. You build systems. You remove distractions. You make it easier to start and harder to stop. There's a simple way to apply this: habit stacking. Tie a new habit to something you already do. If you want to read more, read 5 pages after your morning coffee. If you want to exercise, do 10 push-ups before you shower. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to build consistency. And here's the key: never negotiate with yourself. The moment you let your feelings decide your actions, you lose. Because most days, you won't feel like doing the hard things. You won't feel like working out, writing, studying, improving. But if you push through, if you show up regardless, you separate yourself from those who only act when it's easy. The next time you feel resistance creeping in, ask yourself, if I only did things when I felt like it, where would I be? And then take action anyway. Because once you learn to stop hesitating, you gain something most never will: the ability to create, to grow, and to take control of your future. When you master this, the next step is to use time wisely. Let's talk about how. 7. Time management and prioritization. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't time, it's how they use it. Some people move forward relentlessly, while others waste hours on distractions, convincing themselves they'll get to it later. But later never comes. Time isn't something you can pause or rewind, It's the only resource that, once lost, can never be regained. And yet, most people act as if they have an unlimited supply. They fill their days with urgency, but not importance, mistaking busyness for progress. But productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca warned, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." They saw time as a gift that must be protected, not spent mindlessly, because every wasted hour is an hour you will never get back. I used to struggle with this. There was a time when my days felt like they were slipping through my fingers. I had goals, ambitions, things I wanted to accomplish, but somehow time always got away from me. I would start the day with good intentions, but distractions stole my focus. Emails, social media, pointless tasks, I let them consume my time. And by the end of the day, I would wonder where it all went. I would tell myself I was busy. But the truth? I wasn't productive. I was reacting to life instead of directing it. I was filling my schedule with things that felt important but weren't moving me forward. And the worst part? I knew it. But I kept telling myself I'll figure it out later. Then one day, I decided to change. Instead of letting time control me, I decided to control it. I set clear priorities. I stopped doing things that didn't serve my goals. I started planning my days with intention, asking myself, if I only got one thing done today, what would matter most? And I did that first. It wasn't easy at first. Old habits fought back. My phone still called my name. My inbox is still filled up. The world didn't stop demanding my attention. But I stuck with it, and the more I trained myself to focus, the more I realized how much time I had been wasting. The difference wasn't working harder, it was working smarter. The Stoics believed that how you spend your time is how you spend your life. They practiced memento mori, the reflection on mortality, not to be morbid, but to remind themselves that time is finite, that every moment wasted is a moment lost forever. So what's stealing your time? The endless scrolling? The unnecessary meetings? The tasks that keep you busy but don't move you forward? What would happen if, instead of letting distractions dictate your day, you took control? Here's how. First, identify your biggest distractions. Not all time wasters are obvious. Some disguise themselves as work when they're really just avoidance. Track your time for a day and see where it goes. Second, set priorities. If everything is important, nothing is. Decide what matters most and focus on that first. Third, create boundaries. Protect your time like you would your most valuable possession. Say no to things that don't serve your goals. Block out time for deep work. Limit interruptions. Fourth, use time blocking. Instead of letting your day happen to you, plan it. Dedicate specific blocks of time for focused work, rest, and reflection. Treat these blocks as unbreakable appointments with yourself. Fifth, start your day strong. How you begin sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of checking your phone first thing, start with something meaningful. Reading, journaling, exercising, deep work. Once you begin protecting your time, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need more hours in a day. You need to stop wasting the ones you already have. Because when you master time, you master life. And when you eliminate what doesn't matter, you finally have space for what does. And once you learn to manage your time wisely, the next step is developing the mindset that helps you thrive under pressure. Let's talk about that. 8. Cultivating a winner's attitude and handling pressure. Pressure breaks some people, it sharpens others. The difference? Mindset. Life isn't going to slow down. The deadlines, the expectations, the unpredictable setbacks, they're inevitable. Some people let these things crush them. They freeze under pressure, overthink every move, and retreat into avoidance. But those who thrive, they face pressure head-on. They don't let external chaos disrupt their inner state. A winner's attitude isn't about avoiding stress. It's about learning to use it. It's about transforming pressure into fuel. Because pressure itself isn't the problem. Your response to it is. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire through wars and plagues, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The world will never be easy. The challenges won't stop coming, but the battle is always internal. Your peace doesn't come from the absence of pressure. It comes from mastering how you handle it. I saw this firsthand with a colleague of mine. He was one of the hardest workers I knew, always striving for excellence. But there was a problem. The moment things got stressful, he unraveled. When projects were stacked up, he panicked. When criticism came, he took it personally. His emotions controlled him, not the other way around. And over time, it started to wear him down. One day, after a particularly brutal work week, he told me, "I can't do this anymore. The pressure is too much." I asked him something simple. What if the pressure isn't the problem? What if it's how you see it? He looked at me confused. I told him about amor fati, a Stoic principle that means love of fate. The idea is simple. Instead of resisting challenges, embrace them. Instead of seeing obstacles as setbacks, see them as training. Because the difficulty you face isn't there to stop you. It's there to shape you. He took this to heart. The next time stress hit, he didn't resist it. He leaned in. He changed his approach, not by working less, but by shifting his mindset. Instead of seeing pressure as a burden, he saw it as proof that he was growing, and something changed. He stopped overreacting. He stopped wasting energy on frustration. And for the first time, he felt in control, not of the workload, but of himself. This is how you win under pressure. The Stoics practiced this daily. They didn't just endure hardship, they welcomed it as a teacher. They believed that growth isn't found in comfort, it's found in challenge. The more pressure you face, the stronger you become, but only if you train yourself to handle it. So how do you do this? Instead of seeing pressure as something negative, see it as fuel. Your body reacts to pressure the same way it does to excitement. The difference is how you frame it. Push yourself in small ways daily. Wake up earlier, take on a challenge you usually avoid, step into situations that make you uncomfortable. The more you practice handling pressure in controlled settings, the stronger you become when real pressure hits. The next time stress builds up, pause. Take a breath. Instead of letting your emotions control you, step back and ask, is this pressure breaking me, or am I letting it? Your response is always within your control. Hardships will come, criticism will come, but they don't define you. What defines you is whether you let them break you or build you. This is what separates those who thrive from those who fold. Some people wait for the storm to pass. Others learn to stand in the rain. Which one will you be? 9. Reflection, self-evaluation, and moving forward. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you take the time to reflect, to assess where you are, and to decide where you want to go. Most people keep moving without ever stopping to ask themselves, am I going in the right direction? They stay busy, but they don't get better. They repeat the same mistakes, chase the same distractions, and wonder why nothing changes. Self-evaluation is how you break that cycle. It's how you step outside yourself and see with clarity what's working and what's not. It's not about self-criticism, it's about awareness. If you don't measure your progress, how will you ever know if you're improving? The Stoics knew this well. Every night, they reflected on their actions, their thoughts, their responses. Seneca advised, when the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I have done and said. He wasn't looking for perfection, he was looking for growth. A former colleague of mine struggled with this. She was ambitious, always working, always striving for more, but she was also exhausted. No matter how much she did, it never felt like enough. She was constantly overwhelmed, constantly chasing the next task, the next achievement, without ever stopping to ask herself if any of it was actually leading somewhere. One day, after a particularly brutal month of overwork and stress, she hit a breaking point. She sat down and asked herself something she had never asked before. Why am I doing this? She started tracking her time, noticing where her energy was going, identifying what tasks actually moved her forward and what was just keeping her busy. She realized she had spent years pouring effort into things that didn't matter, simply because she never stopped to reflect. So she changed. She started setting aside time every evening to reflect, not just on what she did, but on whether it was meaningful. She learned to ask herself 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What will I improve tomorrow? And in that simple practice, everything shifted. She became more intentional, more focused. She stopped running in circles and started making real progress. Self-evaluation is like holding up a mirror. It forces you to see the truth, whether you like it or not. And that's the only way to grow. The Stoics believed that self-examination wasn't just a habit, it was a necessity. If you don't know yourself, how can you improve? If you don't reflect on your mistakes, how will you learn? If you don't pause to acknowledge your wins, how will you build confidence? So ask yourself, are you moving in the right direction? Or just moving? Are your daily actions leading you toward your goals? Or just keeping you busy? When was the last time you truly evaluated where you are and where you want to be? Because once you begin reflecting daily, something changes. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop repeating old mistakes. And most importantly, you start living with clarity. Growth doesn't happen in the chaos of constant motion. It happens in the moments of stillness, when you pause, reflect, and decide to be better. Everything we've talked about, self-belief, overcoming fear, building discipline, mastering time, and reflecting on your progress, is within your control. You don't need permission to start. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Growth happens when you decide to push forward, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. The Stoics believe that true strength comes from within. You are not at the mercy of fear, pressure, or doubt. You are in control of your mind, your actions, and your future. The moment you embrace this, you stop waiting. You start becoming. But understanding this isn't enough. You must practice it. Every time fear holds you back, push through. Every time procrastination tempts you, take action. Every time pressure rises, see it as fuel. Every night, reflect. Every morning, begin again. Mastery isn't about one grand effort. It's about small, consistent steps, practiced daily and refined over time. And when you commit to this, you transform. Not just in what you do, but in who you become. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Drop it in the comments below. Share your journey. Because the path to greatness isn't meant to be walked alone. We grow stronger together. Start today. Push yourself and never stop moving forward.